itself. Okay, folks, it is, of course, the Kev Van Pickle Show. We are so happy, delighted, and honoured to welcome onto the show a man that we have pretty much talked about for a year since we started this podcast. It is, of course, singer-songwriter, Mr. Mickey Joe Harte. Mickey, thank you so much for coming on.
No problem. Delighted.
I can't believe we have Mickey Joe. Absolutely realise we have Mickey Joe Harte on our podcast. So we begin. Mickey, you've been singing, songwriting for numerous years, but where did the love of music and the love of singing and songwriting come into your remit?
God, I suppose. I think I always wanted to sing. I always loved performing, even as a kid, going to family celebrations and weddings. I think it's the old Irish thing. It was always a sing song at a big party, a wedding or a christening or anything at all. And we all sort of were encouraged to stand up and the fireplace and sort of do a song or whatever, or do whatever you could do, dance. So it's always that type of thing. And so I had cousins in bands and an uncle who played drums in a band, and then my brother started to play a bit of guitar, hang out with musicians, and they were always about the house. They were a bit older. He had been playing a lot of music, and his sister as well. But they would have, he would have, written songs for me when he kind of started playing. He started to write songs immediately as well, that type of thing. And but there's always musicians around, so I was getting a few. Here's a chord and here's another chord and try this. And then I found I really enjoyed it, So, but the want to sort of sing or the want to perform, I can't remember it not being there, as a kid. I loved sort of, at weddings and stuff. I'd always been, I'd always had everything.
Give me a microphone.
I was always, delighted, and I was waiting my turn, anxiously. That just it kind of turned. It started like that, and then it just progressed onto. A few guitars lying about the house, as I say, my brother having musicians about the house of friends, and playing, and then I learned a few chords, learned a few songs, and started to play with initially with a few different players, a fellow called Finny and drum, who's a piano player from out the road who plays a lot. He's still a very very professional musician, does a lot of stuff still. And him sort of started out gigging when we were about maybe 15 or so. We started.
Brilliant.
And then I've done a few gigs with my brother, and between the two of us, we had enough songs to do a full set. Not our own, but we had enough between us.
Yeah.
So we'd go together and sort of play a gig and cover the night and be a grand, and then just developed, and I kept learning songs, and then the band came out of that first album we did. I was about 17. I remember I was in secondary school when I did the first album in Strabane with a guy who owned a studio there, and we had a band called Cryptic at the time, the four of us, and we done a pretty decent job for a bunch of young.
Well, it's along Kev, right? It's interesting, Mickey, that you mentioned Strabane, right? Because my father-in-law is from Donegal, okay? And he mentioned, I said to him today how he goes, where's he from? And I said, Lifford. And he was like, well, Lifford is across a bridge from, I don't know if he said across a bridge from Strabane or he named somewhere else, but his family are all Strabane City are.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying anything else. So, no.
I mean, I straddle the border still a lot, So that's the best way I can put it. But absolutely. I mean, Strabane and Lifford are, I always describe them just as one town.
Yeah.
In two different countries, if you want to put it like that, two different territories or whatever it is. It's always been like that. So much coming and going, and you go a stone and you hit Strabane, and vice versa.
Oh, that was the father-in-law. Yeah, that was the father-in-law dropping that in about Strabane anyway. So it was. I had to make sure I put it in.
So going from Lifford, and I was talking to a few people before interviewing you. Kevin asked him about the Shamrock. So how does someone go from the Lifford to Santa Ponsa and playing in Santa Ponsa? How does that come about? Because one of the girls are going absolutely crazy. Kevin asked him about the Shamrock. every night he was playing in the Shamrock. How did that come about?
Name or Kev? It's Debbie. You got to give her a name. Debbie sent it in. Right?
I don't remember her. Before we go any further, you know. Well, I think I done the first gig in the Shamrock in Bonza, 98, I think. We went out there, myself and Cillian, actually, what I was talking to you about. We had a little two-piece thing as well we used to do. And we went out there, we got invited. I think we went out for a week or two in September or something like that, 98. And then it was just a friend, as these things always are, you know, through friends of friends, musicians, and another local musician, Martin McColgan, I think, was out there, knew somebody who knew somebody, and he sort of said, and we were kind of interested to check it out at least, you know. And then I was out myself, and I was out then for the fall season the next year, and maybe the year after, yeah, I think the year after that as well, or no, maybe not, I'm not sure, but we did a couple of these. I did one anyway, fall season, because I had my family out at that particular time, you know, they were very young. The two younger ones were very young at that stage, so we just we sort of moved out for a few months out there. It was great memories of it, but hard going, you know, it's a hard out slog. Get out there, you know, you finish at 5 in the morning sort of thing, and then you're coming back in, you know, daylight, and then you go to bed for a while and try and get up and. But yeah, that's how it came about, you know. But it's good fun, you know, for when you're young and hearty, or maybe when you're retired.
Yeah, there's always that option.
It can be difficult. There's a lot of things to consider in between.
Yeah.
But when you're young, it's great. When you're old, it's maybe great. But I don't know. I do the odd stint here and there now, but you know, to do. I know how hard a slog it is, you know, to do those, you know, those summer seasons. These are the last 6 months, pretty much, you know, everybody's going, and it's every night, you know, it's now. So
Kev, I know you. And then no, go on, Mickey. Sorry, go on.
No, you're normally at that age where you're not kind to your body or kind to your mind, so you're doing all the other things about partying.
Yeah,
you know, and hard on the body.
Yeah, exactly. All been there. Born in the candles at both ends, I think, isn't that normally what to say? But look, Kev, I know you're going to mention Eurostar, right? Okay, but I want to mention, because you're after kind of throwing it in there now anyway, Mickey, right? About the young family. Obviously, your daughter Kaylee had a baby girl, so you're now grandpa or papa, or whatever name they're coming up with for you.
I don't know. Yeah, granddad, I think so. I haven't got anything else, but and actually my son Kyle had a baby as well, so we're
brilliant. Congrats.
I'm a granddad by 2.
Brilliant.
Olivia and Aria.
Lovely names. Aria. Can't beat Game of Thrones. Can't beat it. See, you can't. No, but huge congrats. Huge congrats to that. Right, Kev? Shoot.
Lovely.
Yeah. So after your stint in Santa Ponsa, you come back, and then how did Eurostar come about? How did that manifest into itself to become a part of your life?
Well, believe it or not, I have my auntie, this is thankful with that, my mum's sister, because my aunt, she's living in Wicklow, if she hears this, so hello to her, and I hope you're keeping well and doing well. She ran my mum. I was out gigging, obviously doing a lot of solo stuff at that time. I was kind of doing a lot of gigs, pretty much a lot of solo. The band had split up at that stage. I had a band in between that, kind of split up maybe a year or two that, and I was doing a lot of solo stuff, and I had found a manager in Dublin who was interested in my recordings, my writing and stuff. I was in the rock scene in Ballyfermot at the time, and I kind of contacted from that, picked up a manager, and I had a 4-track EP. This is a long story, sorry, but with time up with the okay. I had a little EP ready to go of my own songs, and we, you know, done the whole thing, was ready to roll, and, you know, artwork, a whole lot, packaged and all, and then my aunt and my mum said there's a thing happening in Derry, or whatever you were saying. I didn't even remember the name of it at that time. It's just a competition, and she said there's, you know, Louis Walsh and Phil Coulter and you know, Darren Smith, who was with EMI, and I knew his name from EMI at the time, and I knew that was pretty heavy hitting, you know. So I said, well, that's what something, but I had done other things like that before, you know, Live at 3 Things and Go For It, all these programs, and I said, well, no, I've got my own plan. I'm going to stick with my guns. But anyway, my mum kind of wore me down. She said, go down and just check it out. And I went down to Derry. I was the last person, and I had a gig in Glenties that night. It's the right trip from Derry to Glenties, and I was last down. And I went into the City Hotel in Derry, and I got through, but it was very late. I remember having to come out of the thing. The guy said, you have to come back tomorrow. And I said, yeah, that's grand, but I have to get to Glenties now.
Brilliant.
The other side of Donegal, 3 years ago. And I was, watching that. It started at 9 o'clock or something. And it was the last one, I think the last one was 6 or 7. And by the time I got out, it's time to get and all that kind of stuff. But I just remember that. And then I just kept getting through. What I mean? It was kind of one of those things. But I ran the manager after I'd done it and sort of said, listen, I think it's competition, and I got through. And he said, well, hey, listen, don't worry about it. If we get it.
Oh, you're on. Oh.
Some record labels, and that's all. I didn't know what the process was. I had no idea there was even Eurovision was involved in it and anything like that. Initially, I had no clue. So
yeah.
Yeah. That's how it happened. It was a bit like that, it was a bit last minute sort of thing. And well, I remember that day I was waiting for a swim, and I came back, and my mom had rang Louise. Louise said to me, "You better go, just go, because she's not going to leave you alone. You have to
the mother's way."
Yeah, you got to listen to your mom sometimes, and so she was right in the end.
Well, look, that's the thing. But like as a whole experience, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, just look at, you've done a million things since then. It was 18 years ago this year, 2003. So like, as a whole experience, though, like, you're obviously happy that you did go and do it. You made it the whole way through. But how was Eurovision as a spectacle? Like, how was it for you as a whole kind of thing?
Oh, I mean, it's very hard to explain, but it's certainly the biggest and best run production I've ever been involved in. Let's put it like that.
Yeah.
And I've been on some good shows over the years. I've been lucky enough to stand on a few stages and do, Special Olympics finals and stuff like that, and go past big nights, and but this is it's on a different level. And the team that they bring in that year anyway, I think they were a Swedish team to produce it and put it together. It's incredible. Such an eye opener, and I had come off the back of Eurostar and working with right through that whole process of RTE, and that was pretty good production. Obviously, you can imagine, Shinna Will, and it was very tightly run ship. But this was just another level of production that it just was immense. It was brilliant. I loved all that kind of stuff, that techie stuff. I kind of like that. So as well. So it was just nice to see how it all comes together, and it's huge production. Everything has to run particularly on time. You have to be right for the rehearsals. You're there for the full week. There's lots of parties going on at night. You've got a lot of rehearsals during the day. So your diary's full for the week.
Yeah, good week.
Fun. Yeah, fun and tiring and enjoyable. And I brought my band out with me to do some gigs.
Brilliant.
For the media there, we that wasn't part of the RT thing. We just brought them out to try and get a bit of European as well, and we brought a gig ourselves.
Oh, wow.
Things like that. All that's going on as well. We packed a lot into the week.
Mickey, Johnny Logan did it twice. Would you ever think about doing it again?
I never say never. I know that for just out of because I've been caught out a few times before. Never going to do that. And it's not something that's on my radar. Let's put it like that. I'm a bit confused with it all. I'm not at the Eurovision boss, So I don't know what I would do. I don't know how you would approach it and what kind of song would work. I'm a little confused. I've lost a little bit of touch with it. I think you need to be in that frame of mind where you really want, you have a desire to go out and do it and win it. And it needs to be a 24/7 thing for you if you're going to take it on. It can't be something that you sort of do like I did the last time, to be honest, because it was part of a process of Eurostar. It was part of the I didn't set out to be, but it was great. I dedicated myself to that week, but with so much going on, it was very hard to do all this anything else. But
like,
yeah, I think it's something you need to like, and it's not on my list. It's not something I'm ambitious about.
Yeah.
So,
Well, like,
but I mean, it's amazing. I know Johnny Logan, for example, and it's amazing to think that he's won it 3 times. 2 as a performer and 1 as a songwriter, or twice as a songwriter.
Yeah.
He performed twice, and to win it 3 times is quite unique as well. Unique. No one's ever done it since, and I don't know if anybody will ever do it.
no,
So,
I don't think so.
You got a lot of flack for it, over the years, and here and there, and but I think people realize now. It's about the other side, and people realize how huge of an achievement it was for us, for the country, and it kind of put Ireland on the map. It really did. U2 and things like Riverdance every so often, and Eurovision was one thing that we could call that we were the best at in the world. And there's not that many things that we are.
Well, it is a bit of an identity. It is a big deal. Like you think of, more or less, you think of Eurovision, you think Ireland, and you think of ABBA. It's the 2 things that kind of you do remember of the Eurovision, Ireland and ABBA, and they're the 2 biggest things that probably happened in Eurovision at the time. Well, throughout the years,
Yeah, absolutely, and we're damn good at that. You can win something once with a bit of luck, but you can't win it 7 times without a bit of substance and stuff there. And that's something that we're really good at, was writing songs and performing and going out and entertaining people. Is something as a nation that we've done. Should it be standing on the back of a boat crossing the Atlantic, or whatever it was, through our generation, through our DNA that was picked up, and it's not an accident that we're really good at that kind of stuff. So,
and the song itself, Mickey, was, I think, Martin Brannigan and Keith Malloy would be from Dundalk here, so like
on the town, where is it?
Yeah.
On the
So,
town.
like, and then like, so how did that come? How did the song come about, and how did it was that in the process as well of Eurostar?
Yeah, that all came about behind the scenes. There were songs that were Martin Brannigan certainly had he's had a lot of experience as a digger. Martin has a lot of experience as someone who could write hit songs before in the UK for all their acts. And so when the 2 of them got together, it was kind of a perfect kind of formula for getting a really good pop song. And it was just great that this just kind of landed. They presented it to me and first said, we want you to do this if we get to the final of Eurostar. This is going to be a song, Eurovision, and for me it was very different to what I was writing and what I was kind of performing. So it was I had to try and get ahead of it, to be honest. But it was another sort of learning curve to stick on a song like that and deliver it. And then I wasn't sure about it at all until the first night of Eurostar, until I played it and I seen the reaction. I went, Jesus.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to. Yeah.
You have to admit when you're wrong, and I remember being very worried and talking to people about it. I think this song is not going to work.
Yeah.
After the first
like to say certain songs last the test of time in a sense, right? Like we would have been 18, 19, right? When you were singing, Mickey, okay, for that song, right? If 2 songs I will always remember from my youth of that age, right, is Maniac 2000, okay, Mark McCabe, right?
Yeah, Mark.
Right, and We've Got the World. Like, I still have that on every playlist I have on my Spotify. We were listening to it in the car. My daughter was singing it this evening coming home because I was telling her that, see this guy singing this song? She's like, yeah. Now, she's only 5, right? And she was like, I'm going to interview him this evening. No, you're not, Daddy. No, you're not. I'm like, no. He's on your phone. I'm like, yeah, that's just him singing though. I'm going to talk to him. But yeah, like they're the 2 songs to me. Like, did you ever think you would be part of one song that would literally, I'm not being funny, but it's going to live forever, that song. Like, it's always going to be, it's the one song you put on in any Irish bar anywhere and everybody goes mad. Like, did you ever think that happened?
No, you could never foresee that. It's just, it's so nice that it's still here, still around, and people still sing it to me on the street. I have people say this would annoy me. No, but it might annoy me when they stop singing it. But no, you know, so I get it all. You know, if you're out for a night or a club, you'll always have one or two at least will sing it. You know, the line sing it to you, and it's, you know, it's, I don't know, it's just one of those songs that kind of captured the nation, the emotion of the nation at the time, and I just rode the waves, and I was very lucky, and it's bizarre. I can still get I get a lot of requests, so just to sing that song, it's like girls now who would have been maybe, and guys who would have been maybe teenagers at the time, and are now getting married, and you know they want that as a first.
Like that's amazing.
So they want me to go and sing that for them. So, and that's quite a nice thing. And you know, it's allowed me to sort of do a lot of the back of it. You know, so
I think as well in 2003, like this country was like it was flying. Like the Celtic Tiger was going 90. You know what I mean? And I think
I lost you there a wee bit.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I think like in 2003. 2003 was a massive part of, say, the Celtic Tiger. This country was flying. This country was just going crazy in 2003, you know? So, like, I think people like that nostalgia of it being a great time in 2003, you know what I mean? Everybody was in a party atmosphere. Everybody was loving life.
Oh, hold on a minute. We might have some audio issues. Hey, Kev, on a side note, how cool is this? Don't worry if everybody is listening. He hasn't disappeared completely off on us. See, there we go. Told you he'd be back.
Hello.
Wow. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Kev, you were on about 2003.
Yeah, 2003 was like a big part of it. You know what I mean? The country was going really well. It was Celtic Tiger. The place was booming. I think people, that nostalgia of loving life and then loving this song, the kind of everything kind of came together at that time. And even now, thinking back to that time, people were partying. I remember you played a gig here in Dundalk on Park Street. Park Street literally closed down. You were in the back of a truck outside. It was Moe's at the time. And it was, and the whole street had shut down for this. And like, this was mayhem. Like I was literally on the beer, I'd say about 4 hours before you come on the stage, and it was an unbelievable gig. I've never seen nothing like that in Dundalk before or since. I think it was a massive thing that when that happened, you know.
Yeah, just I think you're right too. There was a bit of money about, there was a bit of buzz about, you know, as well, you know, with Celtic Tiger and all that, and the song suited that. I suppose time it was a perfect storm.
Yeah. Make the most of it.
But yeah, you know, it was just something that's gonna happen, and you know, it was a sort of 1 year for me, and it was just huge, you know. But it was it's one of those. It's very hard to explain. Yeah, the song.
Super, but the career keeps going. You have numerous albums out. And I know COVID's hit hard for the music industry. So do you have gigs lined up, or what do you have lined up going forward?
The gigs are starting to come in a bit, thank God. Particularly in the last few weeks, to be honest. The last maybe, you know, people are starting to see and things. I would do a lot of sort of, I suppose, university, collegey type of student type of things as well, you know. So those are starting to open up again, and yeah, there was starting to little things, but nothing. People are very reluctant. So promoters and venues are still very reluctant, but they're playing it safe a wee bit, which you can understand.
Of course,
so
yeah.
It takes a wee while to get back to full swing, but it's definitely. I was chatting to someone today, like a promoter today, and he said, like, I think the summer's going to be good. So that's, you know, that's kind of what we're aiming at, and but it's good. I was doing all this stuff over COVID, and I'm finishing off an album that I'm not my own stuff, but the song. It's an album that I'm producing pretty much and performing the songs on. It's a friend of mine, and it's with the songs of Jack Tension, who wrote a lot of stuff for the Eagles over the years, and different people like that. So we're sort of in the finishing mixing process of that, and that took a while because it actually started pre-COVID. And then we were meeting up, and then we had to find different ways of recording. So that, and then I had another another album that I'm involved in that it's not my own again, but and I'm
Brilliant.
just gonna write my own. So I'm
Yeah.
busy like that, and I do some vocals for Strictly in Germany, which is good crap.
Brilliant.
You're not allowed to tell anybody. It's a secret. So,
We'll keep it quiet.
Over COVID, that was good because they kept going and they just kept telling me the tracks, and I'd record the vocals here and send it back to them. And it was interesting to see all that. So things like that keep me, sort of keep you seeing, you know. And
Brilliant.
I love the recording process and the writing process also. But most of all, I love just the gigs. So hopefully that'll come soon.
Well, hopefully we might get something. I have this dream lineup planned, Mickey, right? Okay. So it's you, Niall McNamee, who also came on to the show a couple of months ago and had a great chat with him about slagging off people who go to American football games and loads of other stuff. And the band Blessed, who we're going to meet next Saturday. So they are, okay. Tony was on the RTE show there. Not that long ago. I can't remember what the name of it was. They were all singing. They all came out and like battled each other.
Last singer standing. Last singer standing.
Yeah, Tony was on that.
Yeah.
So he was, and then Dave is the other fellow. But yeah, my plan is we're going to get the three of you together, right? The three of us all come and we organize some mental charity singing thing, and it'll be just incredible later in the year. That's the dream.
But that's a dream.
Pipe dream. Yeah, pipe dream.
Hey, listen. You got a dream big, man.
Exactly. Hey, you know what I mean? Like, that's, of course we dreamt big a year ago saying we were going to get you onto the show, and look what happened. Brilliant, though. Bucket list for us, Mickey. So it is. I said to you in the message. That
sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, we might never know. This could work, Kev. We might get some traction on this.
Yeah, you never know.
This might actually work, so might Kev. You good? Kev's just smiling. I love it. He's just smiling.
It is. To be honest, Mickey, like to have someone like yourself on the show, and I know you're probably when people do interview, you're kind of like, oh my God, it's the same interview that happens all the time. But I think the love that people have for you, Mickey, as in this country over the period of time that's been going on since 2003, I think it's a reflection on yourself that you are so approachable. That people can relate to you. I think it's a massive thing for a person to be able to bring that to still be able to bring it to the table, say 19 years later. I think it's a massive achievement for yourself, knowing that people still love you. You know.
Well, there's a few people who disagree with you, but I'm gonna take all of that. I get the compliment now. Anywhere I get a compliment these days, I take it. So I'll give it. But that's very nice for you to say. But yeah, listen, genuinely. I get very little negativity in terms of stuff from social media and stuff. It's normally generally fairly positive. You get the odd, numbskull and
bell end, yeah.
It's going to get one or two of those, and that's fine. And you learn just to try and delete and block and whatever. Forget about those things, and yeah, that's kind of what you have to do. But generally, I'm very fortunate in that respect, and that people, I think, the love of the song. As I've been very fortunate, the song has sort of allowed me to, get that kind of admiration. There's a lot to do with the song.
Yeah, but look, it's not just the song, though. Yeah, it's definitely not just the song, Mickey. You know what I mean? Like, but
it's not, as you said. As you said, it's not your usual typical music, Mickey. That kind of real pop song. What would be your typical type of music? I know I've seen some of your albums there, but what's your typical kind of usual song you'd go to, Mickey?
I mean, I suppose I'm a big fan of acoustic singer-songwriters, and one of my heroes, I suppose, Irish-wise, would have been Paul Brady growing up. A big fan of his music, still am. He's a fantastic writer. And the Van Morrison, those kind of really traditional, really good folk sort of contemporary stroke rock songwriters. Somewhere in between there. I like a lot of that stuff, and bands like the Police and stuff. I would grow up listening to that kind of like bands with space in it, with 3-piece bands, and just really groove. I love that, and great lyrics. I like really good lyrics. There's an American guy called John Hyatt that I'm a huge fan of. I think he's one of the best lyricists, and perform singers, and I love his voice. It's a wee bit off the wall, but it's those are the kind of things that I like. I love pop songs. I love the radio. I love listening to what's going on the radio nowadays, and listening to the new productions, and kind of Ed Sheeran and the clever stuff that they're doing, and the production nowadays.
What about Garth Brooks? Are you going to see him?
Oh yeah, no, I have no tickets, but yeah. I'll sing you a Garth Brooks song, a wee bit. I don't know the Garth Brooks song. But
who would have expected this?
It's because I love the song. I'll sing a verse for you. Can you hear this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This old highway getting long. Seems there ain't no inside. Sleep would be best, but I just can't afford it. I gotta ride and go tomorrow now. What the chorus? And the line's getting longer. The saddle's getting cold, and I'm much too young to feel the stem old. All my cards are on the table, with no weight left in the hole, and I'm much too young to feel the stem old. Yeah, I'm much too young to feel the stem old.
Has to go. I'm selling the Garth Brooks tickets now. I don't need them. I'm done. I'm not going to tell the wife though. So I'm not okay.
I didn't plan on that at all, but I love that song for some reason. I absolutely love that song. I'm not a huge Garth Brooks fan, but I love that.
Well, on last week's show, Kev was talking about feeling old at this age. So it's kind of funny that you played that, because Kev was talking last week about why do I feel so old at my age? There you go, Kev. That's
there
why.
You go.
So it is like, hey, that's
too
why.
many parties, yeah.
I'm telling you.
It's finally catching up with you.
That's why I give up the drink. I'm no longer drinking, so that's maybe the reason why.
It could be.
Well, there you go.
it could be, hey. But no, look, Mickey, I was reading the thing. I know you have an Australia t-shirt on you, right? I was seeing about a Paddys Day gig you were meant to do in Melbourne and Sydney, and then COVID came and wrecked that up. Is there any plans?
We actually did do it. We were able to get there, but we didn't get to stay any longer than we wanted to, but I managed to finish out the thing. I came back on the 19th of March in, what was that, 19?
20, 20, was it? 2 years?
2020, sorry.
Yeah. 2019.
We managed to do it, but we just came back. Australia closed the next day or something crazy. Like, I think we're back on the 19th and Australia closed down the 20th, all the international flights and whatnot. But yeah, I did manage to do it. But yeah, we were watching it, and it was kind of scary because it was, we were just like anybody, we were kind of watching it all right. But when you're in a different country and you're so far away, you're kind of like wondering, wow, if they close these airports in the next few days and we go.
Yeah, it had to be scary though.
Yeah, you could be stuck in worse places now. You could be stuck in worse places than
Melbourne. If you had seen where I was stuck, I would have gladly stayed there. But I don't know if I'd have been able to come home then. I don't think I'd have got it welcome here. But no, it was beautiful. I was absolutely on the Indian coast there. It was right on the beach in a place, and the few days that before we left, and we weren't sure we were okay, but we were kind of watching. I was looking out, thinking that, wow, it's not the worst place in the world.
Wow, amazing. But imagine getting caught though. Like, I know, like, the people have been caught in places, but like, imagine if, like, I don't even want to think about it. Like, but imagine getting stuck over there. Like, what are you gonna do? Like,
well, the thing about it is what scared me most is that Australia is, for anybody, it's quite expensive. I was okay, I was there, but I can imagine if you were there and you found yourself in a situation where you had no income and no job, all the venues were closed down.
Yeah,
I would have been in a, I don't know what, you'd been wiring a lot of ringing bells. People, you wire me something.
Yeah, you want to get the cap out, so you would, like, hey, start sitting on the street. See you would.
Boston and stuff. Yeah, that. But yeah, so it's one of those things. Your mind starts to think of all types of things when these things when you're there. But we had a great time. It was brilliant. I love Australia, but yeah.
But no, look, please God, like you said, this summer now. You know what I mean? Hopefully, the way it's looking as well. You know what I mean? It's looking positive, like. But please God, now this summer, now everywhere starts getting back into a bit more kind of normality. So you see yourself now back. Well, not every night. You're a grandpa now. You know what I mean? Not every night gigging, but you know what I mean? Most nights.
Exactly. Yeah, just take it as it comes. Yeah, at my ease.
And Mickey, you haven't aged. You haven't aged a bit. You look the same as you did on the stage. You know what I
mean?
Benjamin Button. Oh, it is like, hey.
Thank you.
No stress, though.
Every week, if you keep complimenting me like this, I'm having a good day. A Photoshop, maybe the Photoshop is going along here.
Yeah, strategically placed in the house now, so you are to make sure the lights.
Nice. Oh yeah, absolutely. Keep the lighting, not too bright.
Brilliant. Hey, no, Mickey, that's.
Well, that's okay. I'm battering away. I'm managing. I like to play a bit of football and keep myself kind of half.
United fan, yeah, United fan.
Liverpool. He's a Liverpool fan.
Liverpool or United?
Finn Harps.
Well,
Finn Harps.
I'm Liverpool.
Yeah, well, I'm a Villa man and he's a Forest man, so take what you want from that. See you again, like, hey, we can't slag anybody off.
Hey, listen, I think none of us are going to be winning the Premiership this year, so
no, definitely not. Hey, definitely not. Hey, but no, Mickey, it's been absolutely unbelievable chatting to you, man. I mean, thank you. Like, I know we had one final request that came in from a lot of people, which would be for you to.
I'm not getting naked. I said no way.
Oh man, but we did a poll. That's what they wanted.
I did that for you.
Only if you guys do it as well. Not doing that skinny dipping out in the pool bar in the backyard. I have the heated pool out there. Yeah,
we don't want to get cancelled just yet, so we don't we'll get another couple of years out of it first time. But no, look, if you're willing to give us a verse or two of course, We've Got the World. Our listeners would appreciate it. God knows me and Kev would absolutely appreciate it if you're willing to.
I'll do my best.
No pressure.
This is it.
Guys, Mickey Joe Harte is fucking playing
on the Kevin Pickle Show.
Here we go. You better join in there, lad.
Oh, here, I want to.
Hope you can hear it okay in there.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks, Mickey.
And good luck with the show. She stands under the light. She touches her smile like emotion. And her love fills the air. And I know you're my every tomorrow. And I know that you'll always be there. We've got the world tonight. Let's hold on together. That's right. We've got a love that's right.
That's right.
So open your heart. Ask me why. Sun and the moon go round. Ask me why my feet never touch the ground. Tell the truth, you take my breath away. All right, everybody, come on.
Wow, got the world tonight.
Let's hold on
together.
And we've got a love that's right. So open your eyes. We've got tonight.
Whoa! Mickey Joe Harte on the Kev and Pickle Show. Thank you so much for that. Okay. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Hey.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
So please God, we'll keep in touch. So you never know, we might get talking again someday, but it's literally, for us, it's bucket list. That's one now, off the bucket list. So thank you. It's been an absolute privilege and an honor having you on the show, Mickey. Thank you so much for coming on to chat to us tonight.
No bother, lads. I'm delighted. Thanks a million for having me.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, Mickey.
No bother. Thanks, lads. Hey, have a good one. See you soon. Bye-bye.